Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, today we don't really see a lot of price movement. Already spoke about that in the previous video today that, maybe until tomorrow the CPI data will be released in the US. We're not going to see a lot of movement. I think the market is now in a state of waiting. We already had over the last few weeks really this up and down movement on the Bitcoin chart and really a lot of indecisiveness. We're really lacking here a decision of the market in which direction it is going. So that coupled together with that important data to be released tomorrow might just mean we're not going to see much until tomorrow. And on top of that, we are still an hour away from the US market. Stock market to open, so also here we're probably not going to see anything for the next hour or so, but typically in the first 4 hours after the opening of the New York Stock Exchange there is a bit of volatility. But yeah, I think before we actually see those numbers tomorrow we can expect not to see a decision here. This is still the Elliott Wave count here. I haven't changed anything compared to the last video, also given the slow motion that we are seeing at the moment. Someone suggested we might be in a descending wedge, and absolutely it looks a bit like, well, you could call it either a descending triangle depending on how you draw it, or a descending wedge, but it really, that lower line isn't really descending a lot. Yes, a little bit, not much. In addition to that, at the moment we are just in a sideways range pretty much. I think that is pretty much where we are in. That wedge here would start on the 31st of May and is going down a little bit, yes. But again, it is a bit too early because we would be still very much in the beginning of that wedge. As you can see, we are not even close to an apex. So we can track it and we'll see if that means anything here. That would rather suggest that we might be moving up here, but it's too early. Yeah, we are really not even halfway into the wedge. Because it's not really that those lower highs, they're not really going down a lot, so therefore we don't really see it coming together too much. It's quite a big wedge as well, so we just need to see. We can track it, keep an eye on it. Next point, what I told you about in the last few videos here, that we came down in a wave 3 here. That is still my view. Wave 3 in red, that was the low around 24.5k. We then moved up in a WXY double zigzag to a wave 4 that peaked here in the target area for a wave 4. That is what you would usually expect of a wave 4, so I'm happy with that. It peaked in that area. Exactly where it peaked was the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level. That is the ideal retracement level for a wave 4, so textbook like, all done. And now we have, again, a couple of options. We are waiting still because the sort of higher level count here suggests that this was a wave 4. We are waiting for a wave 5, which would point to the downside. So on the roadmap here, you can actually see what we could expect. After a wave 4 high, you will expect a 5-wave move to the downside that would fulfill that wave 5 in red. And that would also, or it has a good chance to complete the overall Bitcoin correction. Yeah, so based on this, we would expect a move down. Now, the thing is, the question in the room is really, has this wave 4 ever finished? Or are we still in a wave 4? Are we just in an extended wave 4, which might work its way into this target area, which is between that 38.2% Fib level and the 50% Fib level, both ideal retracement levels for a wave 4. So between 32.1k and 34.3k. So it could very well be this wave 4 has never been finished. Yeah, and we are just now in a wave pattern where we would go once more into that area before we see that decline. That is absolutely possible. It's not off the table. It has never been off the table. And all it would mean is that this wave Y also was never finished and the wave 4 not. Yeah, that this is just a larger wave Y, which would complete that wave 4. So this is currently what I'm looking at. Actually, as I mentioned in the last couple of videos, the longer this sideways movement takes, the more likely it is that this is going to be the case. The reason for that we're just lacking any impulsive downward move here at the moment. Yeah. Here that could have been a wave 1 down in white. You can see that. This could have been a wave 2 in white up. The problem I have now with this structure is that we're just lacking any evidence that we are moving further down. We would need to break this support level down here in a first instance just to make a lower low below 29.2k. Yeah, and then really get into the area here in this yellow target area. This was, by the way, the higher level correction target I've been talking about since November, December. So, we came into this all good. My primary expectation is still, even though we reached that was the area where I would say, we complete the overall correction here for Bitcoin with a very high likelihood. But, we haven't really finalized that. We haven't really finished that yet. So therefore, we just have to assume that we come into it once more, because we don't see that low, and we don't see that impulsive structure that would normally finish or follow such a significant low. Had this been already the low, I would expect a much stronger upside movement, which I at the moment just do not see. Therefore, my view is we haven't seen the low. It is technically possible because we hit the target area, but the lower level wave count, as this one here suggests, we are still moving lower. So that's what I'm looking at. The longer this sideways movement takes, it's just likely that we go up higher and then come down. But we also have to be honest, it's very muddy at the moment. We don't know. We need to wait for a signal here at the moment. The short-term moves at the moment, they are very muddy. Absolutely. It is very hard at the moment, and we are lacking a clear direction. And I think the market is lacking a clear direction. Therefore, also here, you have a couple of, a few scenarios that can unfold. But at the moment, we just need to wait which scenario is going to unfold. And then we can also make the decisions and the next steps. For now, we are just still in the range. And, when we see a clear signal down by breaking one of these support levels, I'd be very much up for that impulsive downward structure here that we have on the chart. But if it takes a little bit longer in that sideways movement, and we maybe even break above the 31.5k level, the resistance, and then even 32.4, then it is a clear indication that the wave 4 was never finished. And then we will just move it along. And that will then mean, yes, we have further upside potential here to max out the target area to 34k before we then come down, because it would still be, in my opinion, a corrective structure. And yeah, that is a quick update here about Bitcoin. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.